So you may think, as many people think, that the spiritual awakening is the end of the story. But what if I tell you that it's just the beginning? It's like a new chapter of the book of your life, and much more magic will unfold in the time after the spiritual awakening. So in this video, we want to explore what comes next in this journey and some important things you need to know that for me personally are really important, because there are some like pitfalls you can fall into. And I want to give some experience and inspiration from my own journey, and let's see what comes next. So hello my friends, welcome back. In the first part of the little series, this is the part 2 of it. In the first part we were discussing the definition of a spiritual awakening, the meaning, some common signs, the triggers that are there that create a spiritual awakening, and why is it happening. And in this episode, I want to go over the points, the journey after the awakening, then some important things to remember, how to navigate the spiritual awakening, and some final words from me. So the journey after the awakening. As I said a few times before, the spiritual awakening itself is just like a little explosion, like an opening, so to say. And the journey after is where the real work starts, where we really have to come to a completely new understanding of life. And I have some points here that in my journey were really, really, intense, that I noticed them. First, it's I'm getting exhausted from walking again. Can you believe it? I think I'm gonna sit down. So you get a feeling of a deeper sense and purpose and alignment after the awakening. And so what does it mean? Because your whole worldview changes, your whole perception of the world changes. Everything that you once believed about the world is like shattered to the ground, is like fallen into pieces. So, and after this initial kind of explosion, like I said, is coming the time when all these things settle down, where your brain gets like in a new structure, and your whole emotional system and everything gets like reorganized, so to say. And because you kind of look behind the veil, you see the world with different eyes, you have a much more intense desire to find your own purpose and to live your life in alignment with your higher values. So that is really an intense process there. Then you will learn how to navigate the world with your heightened sensitivity about perceptions, like things you perceive, a heightened sensitivity about your emotions and energies, like other people's energies. You will have a heightened sensitivity about all these things. You will perceive the people being, they're not different. They are there. They are like they have been before, but you see them differently. You see the world differently. There's is this saying, you see things that you have not seen before. You hear things that you have not heard before. For me, it was like, what is going on? Was all this stuff there before? All these new worlds, this new universes opened up, these new topics, this new, because before you're kind of blind, you're dreaming, you're sleeping, you cannot see it. And then these worlds are opening up, and you have this higher sensitivity towards all that. Also, to find a way to deal with the things, the regular things in your life that you have been taking part in so far. Because when you see things differently, it's really likely that you cannot go on do the things you have been doing so far. And it's also like you don't want to do them anymore. You feel like toxic things much more. You see, it's like you have this supervision and this body sensation feeling that you come into a room, and even especially more for empathetic people, you can feel it much more. Like, imagine you have been a sensitive person, but then out of a sudden it's getting much more, and you have to really, really come to terms to that, and especially take a lot of time for yourself in that process. Also, what is probably going to happen, you're going to lose a lot of people. Like I said in the video before, it's just natural, because the interests that you're going to have are so changing. You will not be drawn to things from the past. For example, when I had my spiritual awakening in 2019, I could not for the life of me go on with my party lifestyle. It was so not appealing to me anymore. And everything that came with it, like, the whole party lifestyle, drinking alcohol and having affairs and all this kind of thing. I was not interested in it anymore. The whole superficiality and the meaninglessness of it all was out of a sudden so apparent to me. And I was like, no way. I was rather sometimes spending time completely alone at home, staring at the ceiling and like, what is going on? And I really enjoyed the silence. So you have to kind of be brave to leave the old behind, to leave old patterns behind, leave old people behind. It will usually resolve itself automatically. The people will not resonate with you anymore. You will not resonate with them anymore. The topics, they're talking about, the boys talk about girls, girls talk about boys, celebrities. I don't know what people like, what they're talking about in the daily life, the small talk stuff. You cannot stand it anymore. For me, it was like, I never liked small talk, but I was always engaging in it because I wanted to be part of the group. I wanted to be like everybody else, because I had this wound still inside that I was rejected, and I wanted to be part of everything. So this is probably also why I forced this lifestyle for so long, that I wanted to be part of the normal world and did not see that it just doesn't fit. And I was trying to force it for so many years. So you come to this point where you're kind of just like, I can't do this anymore. And then is this scary moment of like a gap comes up, and you're like, okay, I don't want the old anymore, but what do I want? Where do I want to go? What is happening? That is really, really an intense aspect of the time after the awakening. But you have to be willing to let go of the old stuff. And believe me, there's new stuff coming. It's not like the emptiness will not stay forever. It's there's this kind of hole coming up, and you feel like everything is lost because you can't see the new things, because you cannot yet perceive what should be the new things. But I promise you, stay there, stay true to yourself, and you will experience all the new things. Then also, what happens, you will enjoy much more the time alone. You will sometimes sit somewhere on a lake and you'll just be overwhelmed by the beauty of everything, and you see through the human ego. You will understand their suffering. You will see how the ego operates, how the pain and the fear operates in humans, and you have like more compassion to others, and you will enjoy the simple moments, and you will feel this kind of peace. Because when you had a spiritual awakening and you read some books maybe already, or you're going to read some books, you will understand there's just this present moment. And when I was reading Eckhart Tolle 2019, I was completely like, The Power of Now, I'm going to link it in the description, was such an eye-opening book for me. There's no present, there's no past and no future. It's just all in our mind, and everything that there is the present moment. And this is the most powerful place to be, because in this moment we can access the quantum field, and we can access the infinity. It's just possible in this present moment, and it will make itself more apparent over time, and you will really enjoy the beautiful and simple things, and washing your hands and doing like mundane things. You will, out of a sudden, you're like, wow, this world. And I really recommend you to enjoy that time, to really enjoy it, take it in, don't rush it, don't like, okay, what's next, I have to go to a retreat or whatever. Enjoy this time of peace and enjoying this new kind of perception, because, my friend, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last. Like Eckhart Tolle said on the first spiritual awakening, it's amazing. It's like you think you have it all understood and like, wow, I got it. And I have been there. I thought like, wow, I got it. It's like this is it. But he said, just wait until you write a book about it. It's so true. I was like, back in the day, I was like, why would I wait? I want to write about it. Everybody has to know about it. And then like a year later or 2 years later, I was like hit in the face by the universe again. So it's not going to last. Enjoy it, my friends. Some important things to remember that are, for me, really important that you really remember them, guys. Like, really. Remember my words. When the time has come, I will make more videos about it anyway. A spiritual awakening, when you have it, it does not mean that you're kind of better or more evolved than other human beings. Really. It does not mean that you're better or more evolved than other human beings. And I also have been there. It's called spiritual ego. We come to this impression that because we experienced the spiritual awakening, we somehow kind of, because we got it now, we understood, and everybody else is still sleeping. And you know, the ego is like that. It kind of wants to make an identity about everything. It wants to make an identity, even if the identity is a painful one or a suffering one. It's better than having no identity at all, because the ego needs an identity. Maybe I'm going to make a video about what the ego is and how it operates. Just let me know if that interests you. So you will see all that. You have a really, like I said, the heightened sense of awareness and perception, and you will see other humans as well. But the ego creeps in and tries to convince you that wow, I have a spiritual awakening. Like I'm must be really amazing. So because other people, they did not have it yet. It's kind of common that happens in the beginning, and just and without judging, really, like just be aware that it probably is going to happen, that you kind of fall into the spiritual ego. And all I can tell you is just stay aware, just stay in the self-reflection, stay aware of, are you feeling better or worse than others? Because the ego always compares. The soul doesn't compare itself. It's like, why? I'm the soul. I'm like a individual part of the divine. Why would I compare myself to other humans? It's like no point at all. But your ego always wants to be better. It's just how the ego operates. And we're not going to shame the ego for that. It's just, it wants to be strong. It wants to be better. It wants to survive. It wants to protect us. So be aware when you feel yourself being better than others, and also when you feel worse than others. Actually, basically, always when you compare yourself, it's coming from the ego. Your soul will not compare itself. And also big signs from ego is needing, wanting, reacting. So whenever you need something, whenever you want something, whenever you react, it's usually ego, because the soul is this like peaceful, balanced, always present, still awareness. It doesn't want, it doesn't need, it just trusts and is there. So whenever you recognize these three things in you, just reflect and see, am I just in the spiritual ego? And it's usually will happen, and after a while you will recognize it and you kind of fall into the trap again, and then you wake up again, you fall in the trap again. So it's like kind of a like ever evolving circle. But every time you're gonna make like a round in this upward spiral, you will be a more wiser like person, and you will have more insights. What else is important to say is that, like I said, the awakening, it does not erase pain or challenges. Not at all. Like, not at all. It will be even probably more challenging even the years after, because, how is this saying? To whom much is given, a lot is asked, or something like that. It's in the Bible. But anyway, you have this new understanding of things. You will understand maybe about your past, your family dynamics. You will learn about psychological things like trauma and ancestral trauma, and I don't know, like maybe you have psychedelic experiences. You're gonna realize things on such a deep level that the pain maybe just starts showing up then. Maybe the pain or the emotions and the challenges, they would not come before because you were still kind of not ready for it. Now they're coming. They're coming. And just embrace it. It's not like something is going wrong. It needs to happen that way. It needs to challenge you. It needs to happen for you to grow, because all these years we have been running away. We are numbing ourselves with all our coping strategies. When this time is kind of over, and also you're going to cling to your old coping strategies, but when you let them go, the old the hidden stuff will come up and challenges will arise, and you're going to be asked to put boundaries, maybe to end relationships, change your diet, change your lifestyle. A lot of changes. And this is challenging because our ego, like I said, it wants to be safe. That's number one priority from our ego, to be safe. And changes are not exactly safe. They're like, okay, I don't know what's coming there. Like when, let's say you're going to move to another country, I don't know what's happening there. You leave your relationship. What's happening after? You change your job. What is happening? Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to end up under the bridge? Your ego is concerned with all these kind of things. So the challenges will not stop, and trust that everything has the exact purpose of like, it has exactly the purpose that it needs to have. And you just face it differently. Like I said, the upward spiral. You think you're gonna see the same things again, but it's not the same you. So let's say you're going up like on a mountain in a round circular path, and each time you're a little bit higher. And with higher, I mean your frequency is higher, your awareness is higher, like higher. It's like there's this a scale of consciousness from Hawkins. I can also link it in the description so you can maybe understand what I mean, that every state of being and all these emotions, they have kind of a frequency. And when you come to this higher frequency emotions or state of being, you see the world also with different eyes. And maybe the same challenge comes up that came up 3 years ago, but you see it in such a completely different light. And also the divine has to give you the same struggles to see if you have learned. What are you doing with the same struggle now? Like for me, the how many times I repeated the same patterns, I cannot even, until a few years ago, I was repeating the same stuff since my teenage years. I'm like, how did I not see that before? But it's like we cannot see what we cannot see. So you cannot beat yourself up for not having seen that before. What is also really important for me to say, because that happens to many people, they have a spiritual awakening, is that it is not about, just because we kind of dive or we really recognize for the first time the spiritual world, it's not about rejecting the 3D material world that we live in, like the mountains and me and walking around and other people and struggle and food and all these things that the material world is, our person and, everything what we like can see here. It's not about rejecting that. It's not like that it's wrong and we're just supposed to be in the spiritual world. And I can understand the yearning for it, because once you had a taste from this divine universal love and feeling of oneness, and this is something you cannot describe to somebody before, because it's just something you can have experienced and then you know what I mean, but otherwise you cannot understand oneness when you have not get a glimpse in experience of oneness. So we yearn for that, to have that again, but we should balance the spiritual and the material world. This is also why I love the merge of science and spirituality so much, because it's such an amazing when these two intertwine and come together, wow, everything makes sense. Like without the science, you cannot really understand spirituality, and without spirituality, you cannot really understand science. So when you bring that together, that's just so amazing. And this is also with the spiritual world and the material world, because, and that's just my opinion, that this material world is like, for me personally, it's not my home. It's not my home. It's like a training ground. I'm here to experience things, to grow, to learn, and I see it as my training ground. And the more we stop to reject these things that are happening to us, even though they are painful, and the more we embrace them and see them in the light of, oh, there's the training again. Okay, thank you. Round number 3, we're gonna do it. It kind of even gets fun, after a while. You can laugh about yourself. Even the moments your ego is like freaking out and you're holding onto the material world and the material things. And because you must understand, this is so threatening and scary for the ego, a spiritual awakening, because we cannot, with our logical mind, we cannot understand spiritual awakening. We cannot understand God. We cannot understand oneness or the universe and all that. We cannot understand it cognitively. Of course we can. We try to write about it. I now try to speak about it, but in the end we cannot really understand. And this is what the ego is so freaking out about, because like, what? There's something going on like that is completely beyond my control, and ego does not like that. So let's embrace everything, like the spiritual part with the material world, and see it as a training ground. And let's see, next point. See, I'm in the middle of the wilderness again. See what I'm doing to get you a nice view over these beautiful mountains. Have a look. Oh my God. Maybe I should hold the phone like this so you can see it the whole time. What do you think? But I have to readjust myself. Okay. So you're going to see the mountains. You're going to be even more inspired. So, how to navigate the spiritual awakening. What is important, or what helped me a lot, is creating daily rituals to ground yourself, because, like I said, it's like just an intense period of change, especially in the first time. You need some daily rituals, and what that is, it's, I don't know, for me, it's, for example, I'm making a ceremonial cacao in the morning. I built myself a little altar with a meditation pillow. I put some things, and in moments of complete like not understanding and complete emotional overwhelm, I sit on this altar and I just speak to the divine, and that helped me a lot. And this is kind of a ritual for me. Also, of course, nature. Until 2019, I was actually not that much in nature. I just started doing that during my spiritual awakening. I was drawn so much to nature. I was going on hikes like on my own, and I was like, wow, I haven't done that for years, or maybe like never like this, And it was so amazing to come back to nature that was always waiting for me. Then what is good to navigate a spiritual awakening is understanding the importance of rest and self-compassion. So, like I said, this is like so intense for you. Your worldview changes, the people change, your emotions are changing. A lot of stuff's coming up because now it kind of has the opportunity to come up, and a lot of rest is needed. A lot of alone time is needed, and be aware of that. Don't feel yourself as being weird, or that you kind of like a lonely loser or whatever. Like I thought that a while, that like, what is wrong with me? I'm always alone and I don't even want to be with people anymore. It's like, it's fine. Embrace it, and embrace it, whatever you feel like doing, because everything is like a phase, and there's so many different phases, and whatever phase you're coming in, embrace it. Do what feels right for you in this moment. When you spent a year alone just reading, do it. Have a lot of rest, sleep a lot, and this is like really helpful, because all this stuff gets also processed in our dreams. then what I really can encourage you is learn everything that you want to learn. Break your regular interests, or like, it will happen anyway. You will be interested in other things, in more things, in deeper things that you maybe have been interested so far, and just soak everything in, whatever you're interested in, like quantum physics, the universe, the stars, the galaxy, um, trauma healing, relationship patterns, family dynamics, ancestral trauma. There's so many topics that are so interesting and are like little puzzle pieces on our way to at least get a glimpse cognitively, logically. And so then with each learning, we can kind of go deeper. So yeah, spiritual traditions, if you're interested in Buddhism or if you're interested in Christianity, I don't know, like, it doesn't have to be religion. It's about the message that is behind that. I'm not religious, but I understood after these years of studying so many things, also having some impressions about the Quran and the Bible, that it's all one message and they all point to the same thing. There's also what Alan Watts says and Eckhart Tolle. They say we cannot explain the truth, we can just point to the truth. And every human being has to follow this way, and they have to come to the truth themselves, because you cannot explain the truth. You cannot explain God and oneness. You cannot explain it. It's impossible. So whatever resonates with you, follow it. It really is your own guidance system. It's your intuition, and every path is so different. I cannot tell you the things that I have done because they would not work for you maybe completely, and you're like, that's pointless. But every human being is drawn to other things. Maybe you're going to start in art, or you're going traveling, you're going on some plant medicine retreats. I don't know, join a spiritual circle in your city. I don't know, whatever you feel like. Google stuff, like Google. We have ChatGPT now. We can ask ChatGPT things. It's an artificial intelligence, but it still has a lot of, it has all the kind of knowledge in the world, and it can give you sometimes answers, and you can see what resonates. For example, you can ask ChatGPT, what should I do when I feel like da 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 da? And then ChatGPT gives you some answers, and you can see what resonates with you, what you maybe want to do. I'll go to a bookstore and see what book like wants to be read by you. Yeah, this is really amazing. Like, just dive into whatever you want for as long as you want, because you're gonna lose. Like, I lost all the people in my past, and I just was like years and months just gone from society. And even some friends I still have, maybe one or two friends I still have from back in the day, I was sometimes saying like, I cannot, I'm just gone. I'm absorbed in my own world. And the ones who are important for your life, they will understand, and then they will stay. They're not angry at you for like, oh, you didn't text back or whatever. People who are not putting pressure on you. And then enjoy whatever you're kind of diving into. It's like just an amazing, exciting time. And yeah, last point, the conclusion I want to make is just really have patience with yourself and the process. It's like, it's a process. It's not a goal. It's not a thing that you can do right or you can do not right. It's a process that is so individual for everybody. And patience with yourself, even in times, or especially in times when you don't understand what's going on, is so important. And just remember my words. Like, when you are in a moment of like, oh, I don't know, I don't understand, I'm losing my mind, everything is crazy, because you're really gonna think you're gonna lose your mind. Like, I thought it so many times, like, am I actually losing my mind? Like, seriously. And then holding on to the faith and like, oh no, everything happens for a reason. I must trust in that. And okay, yes, Franziska said I should trust the process and have patience with myself. So maybe just remember my words in these times of struggle, and especially when it comes about the dark night of the soul, which is, yeah, kind of a really intense thing. And be aware the journey has just begun. It's not the end. It's not like your life was how it was until now, and now I had a spiritual awakening and now I'm enlightened and that's it. It's not. It's the start. It was just the breaking point, so to speak. It was just like the opening for the light to come out of you. There's like this quote from Rumi saying, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And I love Rumi. For all people who know me, I love Rumi really, but I have to disagree on that, because I don't think it's the light that enters you, is the light that exits you, because the light is inside of you. The connection to the divine, and the one light, the only light there is, light, that's inside of you, and that will kind of come out more and more. And you will also see that in your physical appearance, like your eyes, your body, like everything's going to be more coherent and balanced. And then just be happy about the journey that is about to unfold, and be aware that it's just the beginning. I think it's a gift, really. It's a gift, and also I think it just happens in exactly the right time, not too soon or not too late. It happens exactly then when you are ready for it. It's nothing happens by coincidence. For me, it could not have happened a few years before. It happened exactly when it happened, and all the things after, they were unfolding. The people I met, the experiences I made, the things I discovered, the pain that came up, so many things. And retrospectively, we always understand it happens always exactly how it should happen. So yeah, it's a gift, but also with great insight comes great responsibility. So what you really want to do with it, like, it's not like it's happened and then we can all sit with a nice virgin mojito on the beach and like, yeah, nice, beautiful world. I mean, you can do that, but for me personally, I'm like, the more I'm on this journey, the more I'm like, no, I really have to use my gifts. I have to use my talents. I have to use the stuff that was put into my heart. I have to use it. That's my responsibility. I cannot not do it anymore. I have not done it for so long, and I kind of always felt a little bit guilty about it, because I knew I had so much potential and talents and gifts, and I did not really use them. Other than, no, not at all. I did not really use them. I was just doing my life and kind of wanting to be loved and wanting to be admired, and I wanted to be, I was looking outside for all the things for so long. And this is also ego, and this is like wounded ego, that's wounded consciousness. That's when we did not yet understand that everything is inside us, that we are the source of everything that we are looking for. And before you really experience that, you're still out in the world trying to get all kinds of things, like maybe fame, money, I don't know, what people are looking for to fill the void inside. And then you come to this point when you realize you have everything inside, and the whole journey or the whole search kind of is pointless, because you're like, I don't have to go to a party anymore. Don't be on Tinder anymore, or looking for affairs and admiration from men or something. That's completely pointless. Seriously. And it was so important for me back in the day. So my lifestyle change is completely 180 degrees. Seriously, you have even no idea. I'm sitting now in nature talking to you, but 5 years ago I was standing in the nightclub, drunk, looking for a guy, having drama, crying myself to sleep, being depressed the next day, hardly making it to work, eating too unhealthy. Like, seriously, I cannot even explain to you the change that has taken place. And I'm so excited for you if you're watching this video, because you kind of resonate with that and you kind of feel like something like that is happening to you. I'm really excited for you, because it's so amazing. And it's still tough, like, really, but we get stronger, we get more resilient. We're having more faith in the divine, in the universe, in God, and we can kind of like give some of the burden away that we carried for so long. And the trauma gets healed. The inner children are like addressed, they get healed, you get more balance, the whole drama, the crying, the addictions, they get less. And that's really, really amazing. And the more stronger you get, the more resilient you get, the more you are courageous enough to follow your own path and to really feel in your deepest intuition the path you want to go. And that's so beautiful. And I want to conclude this with a quote from Alan Watts. I'm gonna link some books in the description from Alan Watts because he's so amazing. For me, it's like an incredible human being, bringing the topics of spirituality, God, awakening, oneness. He knows all kinds of like spiritual traditions, but he also knows, like for me, an incredible amount about science, and he is so knowledgeable. And I really was listening to him a lot in hard times. So a quote from him is, awakening is not about becoming someone new. It's about unbecoming who we are not. And this is such a beautiful quote because it describes exactly what is it all about, that you will see the parts that you are not, and you will come closer to who you truly are. Because once the things have been seen, once you, and sometimes it's even subconscious, you realize things subconsciously and you cannot unsee them. Like it cannot be undone. And you will shed the layers like a snake shedding their skin, and you will unbecome all the things that you are not, the stuff that you have been conditioned, the school, the stuff that your parents maybe have told you in all these decades and years, telling you like, I don't know, stupid and lazy and slow, and you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you should be like this. And this is so deeply imprinted in us that we kind of don't even question it because it's so strong. But the gift of the spiritual awakening is that you more and more realize all these layers that you are not, and you work your way towards the inner core that is what you truly are, like your true essence. And yeah, I'm gonna conclude the video with that, my friends. And yeah, if you're interested in part 1, of course, have a look at that. I link it in the description as well. Also really interesting video. And then let me know, of course, what you think about it, what you're inspired about, maybe some things that resonate with you, maybe you see yourself in it, or maybe you're already a few years on the path and you want to share some other tips for other people that also might be really helpful. Because like I said, that's all my perspective. I'm in this whole channel, I'm sharing basically my experience, my knowledge, my experience from my whole life, and the last 5 years of my intense spiritual journey and healing, and so many things that came up. And that's all my perspective. And I want to create like a place where we can see also about other people's perspectives, because that's so helpful to see what other people have been through. And it's like in these retreats that I have been in the past, it's so interesting that usually they're always finding 2 people coming together with almost the exact same story. Like, of course, details are different, but the core of the story, the core wounding is kind of the same. And I was always so amazed how this kind of pulls each other together for people to heal, to create healing and understanding and compassion for each other. Guys, yes, I think that's all I'm gonna have to say to that topic right now. I unfortunately have to leave the mountains. I have to go back. And yes, I hope I see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give the video a like, because that helps the message to spread. And if you want to help me, you can do that. I would really appreciate it. And then I wish you a nice afternoon, a nice evening or day, wherever you are in the world. And stay blessed. Namaste.